Happy Monday. This is John McEntyre, John McEntyre Live. Hope everyone had a good weekend, Father's Day weekend. Hope all of the fathers had a blank honeydew list from yesterday, but get back to it today. But I had a very good one. As usual, everyone knows me. As long as I get something to eat, I'm good. Good dessert. I actually had a Reese's peanut butter cake. So yeah, that was like the highlight of the day for me. And so, like I say, I hope everyone had a fun and safe Father's Day. We celebrated the fathers and everyone and father figures. And so now we're going to get back to it. Today is Monday, June 17th, 2024. And you know the drill. We're going to share some wallet wins. We're going to do the question of the day, and then we will go about our Monday. So the first wallet win is I had my will updated after 5 years. So yeah, that's definitely a wallet win. A lot of things can happen in 5 years. We've seen some very messy situations from wills not being updated. So yeah, that was a good wallet win. Had a yard sale over the weekend and finished funding my emergency fund. Yep, that's a serious win. As a matter of fact, that's what Andre and I we were talking about before the show. It's definitely it's almost time to have an electronic yard sale, just a specialized yard sale, which is a big thing out there. You know, with people doing specialized type sales, like one group may be doing all clothing, another group may be doing electronics, other groups may be doing other things like tools or whatever. So I was like, yeah, looking through the supplies, and I'm like, okay, I have like two and three of the same thing over, constantly updating new technology, new toys happening. So yeah, probably could fund a good retirement off of all of the electronics we have. So no, we can do that. I've been sold them by then. All right, so wallet win number three, found a cheaper auto insurance with the same coverage, saving $150 a month. Yeah, that's a good wallet win. And most people think that once they have auto insurance or insurance period, that they just have it, and that's not the case. You can shop around, because companies, they're constantly updating, they're responding to the market. You may have a policy a couple of years old that you may need more coverage or you may need less coverage, and so it's always good. That's why we're always doing checkups with people, is because we just ask question after question in every area of personal finance, and it never fails. We trigger certain things over and over again, especially in like the areas of insurance, home and auto insurance, and life and health insurance. Maybe time to update those policies. And so that's why we always recommend to call someone like ourselves to actually do a financial checkup. And if you haven't done one, first of the year is usually the best time after Christmas. Christmas rush is over with. Now you're sort of calmed down. You can think. That's a good time. Mid-year is also a good time. Do a mid-year checkup. Maybe you missed the first of the year, and so you say, okay, well, this will be a good time mid-year, and then I can finish the year strong. So always a good time to do a checkup, and you can create wallet wins like this. Updated will after 5 years. So that's a question. We always ask the question, do you even have a will? And if you do have a will, is it updated? Uh, the second one, had a yard sale over the weekend, finished funding my emergency fund. Always a question, do you have an emergency fund? How much do you have in it? And the minimum is $1,000. And found cheaper auto insurance with the same coverage, saving $150 a month. So anytime you say over $1,000 a year, there you go. You're doing very well to save over $1,000 a year. So good job. So good wallet wins. And I want to say, share your wallet wins with us so that we can put them out there. Make sure, and if you're watching, put it in the comment. Put hashtag wallet win. Put it in the comment. We'll respond to it, read it off, share it out here because, the question will sort of tie in with this. Um, we like to celebrate because a lot of celebrate people's wallet wins, and it's those little things I say that's where momentum comes from. Nothing ever just comes out the gate like 100 miles an hour. It starts slow, and we've talked about the snowball debt programs and debt snowball. Well, it's the same thing with wallet wins. You start with one win and then you get another one, momentum builds up. Now you have a snowball of wallet wins, and you're on your way. You're building wealth by the day, what I like to call it. You're getting wealthier by the day. And so that's why we share wallet wins. That's why we want to share and celebrate with you, which will tie into the question here. And the question is, I have decided to get serious about my financial future, and I realized that I was spending too much money on eating out with friends. So when I told them that I was backing off of eating out, they called me cheap. How should I handle this situation? So it's an age old thing. Anytime you're making changes, there's people in your circle they're not going to care too much for, and it could be for a number of reasons. A reason could be they don't want you to change, because with you changing and if you start succeeding, that means their lack of success becomes louder and louder. Um, that could be one of them. Number two, they just don't know if you're serious yet. They just need time. You have to give them time. It's not that they're not supportive or they don't believe, they're just not quite sure yet. And if you stick with it, they'll come around. Then you have another group that they just do not want you to change, and if you try to change, they're not going to like it. They may distance themselves from you, find other friends and things like that, and that's okay too. That's just the nature of change. It's the nature of success. I like to say, you will find more supportive people as you move along. You know, there's this saying. People say that it's lonely at the top. The climb to success is you're by yourself, and you have so much time alone. Um, and if you are alone, that's because you've chosen to be alone, because you're not the only successful. You will not be the only successful person out there. Here in America, what in the last since COVID, millionaire status has increased. Something like it's like one of the largest spikes in history. So people become building wealth and becoming wealthy on a daily basis. Not it's like they average out. It's like 9 million new millionaires a year or something like that. So you're in good company. You just have to find them. They're out there. And if you are deciding to become successful, with your finance, get your finances in check. There are groups out there uh, that they support each other. It's not many of them, and that's why I said this ties back into that wallet win. This is one of the spaces we're creating for that safety to happen, for you to be celebrated here. And that's why we always say, no matter how many wallet wins you have, you can let us know and we'll celebrate with you. And we're building a community of people that celebrate each other's success, because it can be a lonely journey if you let it be that way. And a lot of people turn back because they're just lonely. They may not have the support of family and friends that they thought they would get. And that goes with finances or anything. It could be weight loss, it could be whatever. If you're making improvements, you're just going to have to be prepared to have some will like it, celebrate it with you, move forward with you. Some will sort of wait for it to happen, and they will eventually come around. And then that other group that no matter what you do, they're just not going to support it because they like what they're doing. That pretty much is the majority of people, that especially when it comes to finances, they actually feel that if I'm not eating out every day, if I'm not wearing the latest fashions, if I'm not driving that car, if I'm not living in the biggest house in the best neighborhood, then I'm not successful. And so there's a lot of people that's just, they just put that image together in their mind, and that's basically what they're doing. They're living the image of creating the image of being successful, and anything outside of that, if you actually start to become successful, they just can't handle it. They just will not celebrate with you, and they like where they are. They like being in that area, that what they're doing. They like it. It works for them. How long it will work, we don't know, because it will eventually fall apart, you know, because you can't really cruise that way for long periods of time. Just time, um, age, or person can get older. They don't have the energy to keep those images going and all of this type of stuff. The resources start to get low. They don't have those high paying jobs like they used to. They didn't save, they didn't invest, they didn't do, the right things with their money. And so now it's like the equivalent of flying. You have some, in climb mode. You have some that's in crash mode, some that's in cruiser like mode. Well, if the cruisers, they're the ones that take a long time before they finally realize what they've done was not working. And by the time they really find out, it's kind of too late. The crashers, they kind of like know, hey, I'm starting to crash you, so I've got to get this plane adjusted. The climbers, they're climbing, they're getting higher and higher, and then they put it in. They get to a certain level, and then they say, okay, well, this is enough, or they keep climbing, and that's just how they roll through life. They're just climbers, and so the crashers are going to pretty much jump ship with you. It's and the cruisers, they're going to see, and they'll probably, if they do come around, you'll have another, they'll probably, and I'll say it this way: when you do become successful, that group will say, yeah, I knew you could do it, you know help me or show me or whatever. Okay, so you didn't lose all of your friends, and there you go. So that was a little, long answer, but I had to put it in that perspective, because a lot of times when people are, making these types of changes, and they're very excited, and they take their enthusiasm to their friends and everything, and then they may not be met with that same enthusiasm, you know. And so that's why I say that's how you basically handle that situation. You being an adult. I shared a book a couple of weeks ago called Emotional Intelligence. And that's the big part. It's the emotional intelligence. You're developing your emotional intelligence, and you're becoming a more intelligent, in this particular area. And so there are other intelligent people out there. And as you develop and get out there and mingle with these new crowds and everything, like if you're in a certain industry, make sure you're attending those industry functions and get around the successful ones. Hang around those. If you're working with a financial coach like us, there's been plenty of times we've introduced people because they share some values, and we were like, oh, well, we have a client, they're sort of the same way, they're sort of similar to you, I think you guys would hit it off. And there you go, and now they have their own little support thing, and they're moving forward together, and they're talking, and the happiness level goes up, and then it really kicks in, because it's a social media was built off of this. It's a mathematical equation, and I'm not going to go into it here. But when you start sharing energies and those types of things, it's not 1+1 = 2. It could be 1+1 could equal 1,000 all of a sudden. Two people can make like huge things happen that way. So that's what happens when you start to build a different type of community. And that's what you have to make sure that when you're moving forward, you have that new community that's going to be supportive, because this old community is just not going to work. As you go to the next level, well, let me say it, you don't go to the next level, you grow to the next level. So when you get to the next level, some of these people that you were hanging around with just may not fit on that next level. And these people on this level may not be too inviting of those people once they figure out that those people just don't want to be on that next level. And so you just have to go through those processes. That's just the nature of change and success. If it was easy, everyone would be doing it. I know that's a cliche, but cliches are built off of truth. And so I hope that answered the question. Keep doing what you're doing. Uh, there's other ways to do this, to move forward and build you a new circle. That goes into the question of the day before I go. And the question of the day is, how would you handle friends and family who didn't support your dreams and goals? Just sit down and really think about it and prepare yourself as you get ready to start making these moves. Ask yourself that question. If these particular friends, name your closest friends and closest family members, and say, if I'm succeeding financially, and I'm moving forward, and I'm making these changes, and things are working, and I'm excited, and all of this, and how would I handle those friends if they just did friends and family members, they didn't support what I was doing? And share it with us. Go to social media, go to Facebook, go to YouTube, and share your answers and give your input and help us create this community of support for people that's wanting to achieve financial health and wellness. So that being said, tune in tomorrow. I'll be back 11 o'clock for another live, John McEntyre Live. If you want any assistance with your finances, getting everything on track, might be time for that financial checkup, mid-year financial checkup. It's a good time to contact us. We'll sit down. We'll walk you through the process of getting to financial health and wellness. So until tomorrow, this is John McEntyre signing off.